I used to sell sunbrown, which I was shooting in Hickory at the Catawba County Fair. And my friend Jeff, who was born and raised in LA, terrific actor, about the same age, he said, hey man, I've never tried moonshine. Really would like to try it. I said, oh, you're on your own, because I had a general idea of how it was made, and I thought, I don't know that I want booze straight through the grill of a quick or whatever it was. So he asked somebody, and we were doing this at the Catawba County Fair and on stage singing, and when there was a break, there was a guy out to the side, and I said, and this was a gentleman who had overalls, and that's it, and a Caterpillar hat, tractor hat on, and respectfully, no. And I said, for me? He said, no, your buddy. And he went like this with this brown bag. So it had a little mason jar in it full of shine, which looks like water. So I said, oh, Jeff, I think one of the locals gentlemen has a gift for you. And he said, normally I charge $5, but for you. So Jeff got his free mason jar of moonshine. We went back to the hotel. I said, now, this, I've been so I poured a little in the top, and I lit it, and it was a blue flame, like pure alcohol. Now, I'd heard that, and it was proven true, so I didn't want to drink it. Jeff said, well, I'm going to give it a shot. And he threw it back, and it was one of those, and like for a half an hour, so I said, you okay? I'm good. Like a shot glass. And it destroyed, he's okay. But boy, did I learn my lesson. I think I'm more interested in the mix than the stuff. So thank you, Jim. I'll remind Jeff of that. Yes, ma'am. Do you have a question?
It's not much of a question, kind of. The whole point of my outfit is to get people to draw on me, and I was going to ask around the convention if you guys wanted to do a little deal.
They draw on you?
Yeah, like a little, like on here. Anything.
How anything they want?
Anything.
You're a lawyer, Barry. How on him?
Well, as long as it doesn't infringe a copyright.
Barry really is.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, what is your name?
Lana.
Lana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lana is dressed beautifully, as a sort of Harley Quinn-ish?
Just a clown.
Just a clown?
I
Great. We know all about that. So look at this lovely lady, Lana, walking around, and she's got her own Sharpies, and she is interested in you drawing on her, whatever you like, and Barry is here to verify that it has not transgressed copyright. Yes.
I was wondering if you guys wanted to do.
Say again?
I was wondering if you guys wanted to do a little bit.
Well, I can't even draw stick figures. I have a feeling if I draw on you, it looks like I'd had a seizure. And I don't
I'm
want
the same.
Yeah.
But
But
the word started.
you, good luck, and thank you very much for the offer.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for getting me down.
Pleasure.
Oh, so I gotta try to get closer. Can you get a little closer? Are you hear me a little bit better?
I don't think it's on. Is it on?
Okay, it's on.
Okay, try it now.
All right, got it. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, thanks for coming down, gentlemen. My question is James Avery.
James.
If you had a good James, everybody loves the Shredder. He's one of my favorites. If y'all have any good James Avery stories or can talk to us about it.
Yes. Best question.
Other than the fact that
That's Uncle Phil they talking
I'll
about.
let
y'all.
you use your line, but he was an extraordinary man, one of the nicest human beings, with the biggest heart. He was just a sensational person, and we miss him so much. And wish he was with us, to was with us, and because he was so much fun. But he recorded every episode barefoot.
What?
And he had
Right. He had Nimitz class feet. We got any Navy people in here? Yeah. A Nimitz, that's like an aircraft carrier, and they were enormous.
Yeah, he had huge feet, and but he was just so nice. And the last time we saw him was actually when we went to Kevin Eastman's house and did interviews for the documentary on turtles. And James was there, and that was the last time, unfortunately, that we saw him.
He, as Barry said, there really is nothing but absolute joy from that gentleman. Huge man, huge voice, and huge soul. Just a very sweet man. And of course, when he got Fresh Prince, nobody's going to tell a fellow actor, oh, yeah, don't take a TV series. Don't take a hit show. So, of course, he had to go. And I remember asking him, or just saying, hey, man, we're so proud of you. Way to go, Uncle Phil, all that. He said, Robbie, to this day, everyone who was a guest on Fresh Prince at some point in the week comes to me and says, are you really Shredder? Because they flipped out that he was Shredder. So it gave us kind of a good feeling that, wow, we kind of can play with the big boys, you know, but no, he was delightful. Thanks for
And I
asking.
will say that after James, we were fortunate enough to have the great Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings. If you're gonna have somebody as a
Shredder.
backup,
Yeah.
have Jim Cummings.
He was a good backup, but
Yeah.
James was really one of a kind.
The
It's
Shredder.
pretty cool hearing Winnie the Pooh tell us he's gonna kill the turtles. I'm going to boil you alive. Take your best shot. Hi.
Thanks for that question.
Thank you, Mon.
All right, so my question is kind of basic, but I was just curious. More so for Rob. You worked on the original Turtles, so a lot of us are here, but I know you also worked on the 2012 series,
Correct.
which is my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
One thing I will ask though is that both of them have drastically different tones, and the 2012 series, if you've never seen it, can get really dark.
Right.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer the lighthearted stuff or the dark stuff that was kind of in that 2012 series?
Well, because I'm really about my art, I prefer whichever check clears. Well, look, both of us have, and especially Barry. Barry has been working in show business since she was 5 years old. Yeah. Yeah. 4 years old, excuse me. 5 Canadian. And so, all of us, Cam, Barry, myself, Townie, James, God rest his soul, all of us, Jim, have been impossibly fortunate. Anytime we get to work on something that has become Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we see people, look at this lovely young fella over here. Is he what, about 4? Is that right? That one too. Isn't that great? And we have Mikey from Mutant Mayhem. And so you see my point. When you're involved with something that has that much of an effect, and all
Generationally, yeah.
that's it. There is no downside to this fandom, and it is people old enough to be our grandkids and our children, and people even our age who say we love Ninja Turtles. So that's a big deal, irrespective. However, getting another shot at it was astonishing, and I full disclosure, I made sure that there was no issues with Barry, because Barry is the original.
Of course.
The reason that show, I think, pressed more buttons for the whole turtle ethos or mythology was because the people who made it were about your age at the time. So they knew everything. They knew the comic books, they knew all the show, they knew everything. And they used all of that in that show. And as an example of how powerful it was, and this is when I learned the power of this particular franchise. We aired an episode at New York Comic Con in 2013 called Transdimensional Turtles.
That's my favorite episode.
Thank you. In which we all spoke to the old turtles. And when it was probably a couple thousand people in the auditorium, and when the lights came up, there were a lot of guys going, because it was 25 in 13 minutes, whatever it was, 22 minute, half-hour show. In that time, there was a 25-year gap between the original one and that one. And a lot of it was because they heard Raphael and Donatello by the same guy who was 25 years later. And so they thought, oh my God, it really impacted them. So while I could never pick one, I probably have to go with the original because I'm one of the original, yeah. But thank you for asking. That's a good deal. Thanks for watching.
It was the second longest
Yeah.
turtle series, wasn't it? How many seasons?
We did, I think, 120 episodes.
Yeah, we did 193,
Yeah,
so
right.
it wasn't that different.
Yeah, we did almost 200 of the original, so it's a big deal.
First off, I want to thank y'all for coming here,
Oh, pleasure.
and thank you for being a part of my childhood.
Well, you might want to throw your mom and dad a bone, but thank you.
But I was wondering if there was a personality trait of yours that you made sure to add into the Turtles.
Well, Barry is incredibly loud and obnoxious. How about you?
So I really had to tone it down. I mean, Donatello was so much like me. I mean, it just was weird. I tell the story, and I probably told it to a few of you at the table, but we all read for all 4 roles. And so, you had to think of a voice for each role in the audition. And, so I was trying to think of what would Donatello sound like? So I kind of thought of this voice, and I tried it. And the casting director said, no, he's kind of a nerdy guy. So he said, use your own voice.
Oh, my God. Your friends Dennis called him left-handed compliment.
Yeah, which is the greatest left-handed compliment I ever had, because I did use my own voice, and I was one of the first people cast, which was kind of cool. So, and when I left, I had no idea what I was reading for. I mean, I hadn't heard of the comic book. But when I left the audition, I just thought about what I had done, and I said, because I read for all 4, and I said, gee, I hope I get Donatello.
Yeah, great.
That's the guy I'd like to be, and it worked out. So yeah, I guess if I bring a trait, it's kind of my nerdiness a little bit. I'm a different kind of nerd. I'm not a science nerd. I'm more of a history nerd and a politics nerd, that kind of a nerd. But I think, yeah, a lot of that kind of went into him.
But in terms of his ability to be he's bebop, which is completely different than Barry.
Well, a little. I mean, it's a little bit different, but you do what you do.
You can't stand it, I'm sitting right next to you. And by the way, this is important. Barry really is a California bar passing attorney. While we were doing Ninja Turtles, Barry was studying law at Loyola Marymount in Playa del Rey or whatever it is by the airport.
Well, actually, law school's downtown.
Oh, downtown. Okay, so he studied law, bring his law books to the recording sessions, and between the lines, again, we were out for a while. He'd be studying his law books. The rest of us played video games, or texting each other, or coming up with lines, and after he got his law degree and passed the California bar, which is not easy, he was the president of the Screen Actors Guild for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. While we were doing Turtles, he would travel to New York and meet with the guild people there. So
That's why you hear other voices sometimes.
Yeah.
This Donatello,
because he was out protecting me so I could make a living. Barry Gordon is inarguably one of the most prolific humans I have ever met in my life. A remarkable man.
But he did raise my pet peeve
Go ahead.
because we had a producer. Today everything is done separately, right? So you go wherever you are. You might record at home, or you record at wherever recording studio. And back when we did Turtles, we all worked in the same room, and we loved it.
Much better.
It's much better, but and they try to do that as much as possible in the 2012 show too, which was also a reason why it worked so well. But what happened was, this producer took this to a fault, right? So when one of us couldn't be there, and sometimes I couldn't be there because I was in negotiations or something in New York, So I would say, well, you know, just put me into a studio in New York and I'm there and I'll go and do my lines. And he said, no, if you can't be in the room, we'll replace you. And so that's why on about 5 or 6 of the episodes, you hear a different voice for Donatello, because I couldn't be in the room. And the same thing happened with Rob on occasion, and it was very weird.
It was.
Never had that before.
Never. I've never worked on anything, and we've done a lot of stuff. Never.
Yeah.
Once they cast you, have we ever experienced a circumstance in which that happened?
Because it does hurt the continuity of the show.
Yeah.
And it also bothers the fans, the number, and it should. These characters become very personal, and as a quick side note, when the reboot of Animaniacs, I'm thinking the brain went wrong, it was Mr. Spielberg who made the call to use the original actors because of that specific reason. It's not about having Liam Neeson as the brain and Russell Brand as Pinky, although that might be very fun. But he says about the authenticity of the characters. So,
Right.
thank you for your question. Appreciate it. Hi.
Hi. I wanted to say again, thank you for coming.
Thanks, what?
And I also wanted to ask for the both of you, have you both seen Turtles Forever? And have you have any thoughts about it?
Is that the new one?
Turtles Forever was from 2009.
2009.
It was after the 2003 Fox series.
Right.
And it has
No,
there's a
no,
crossover
there's-
between.
It was crossover between the 03 series and the
But
87
that's the
series.
one that was
Yeah.
non-union,
Yeah,
right?
correct. It was
Right.
And that's why we couldn't do it.
Yeah, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, they did contact us about it, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah, and look,
You're
if you're
absolutely
gonna
right, it
break
was
the
not.
union rules, you don't do it in front of the president of the union. But none of us, we can't. Once, it's always a pleasure to be asked to work, but my life has been immeasurably better as a result of being able to do union work in LA. Pretty much in LA still, with all the major studios, that you have to be in one of the unions. IATSE, SAG, PGA, or the DGA, all of those are important. But so that's why we didn't do it. But I think the thing it also says about Turtles, people watched it, and it's quite humbling and understandable. We don't draw them, and we don't like them. The characters are the stars. There is, to be sure, an important context to hearing what you heard as a kid that sticks with you. Right. But these characters are absolutely bulletproof. And when you're my age, you will have grandkids or kids or friends or nieces who watch the latest one in 2068. It's amazing. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I watched one episode of the 2000 of Turtles Forever because I kind of made up my mind to try, because I hadn't seen any of it. So I kind of made up my mind because people were asking me at cons. So I kind of made a little project and said I've got to at least watch a taste of each of these versions. So that, and I'm trying to remember because I sometimes confuse the 2003 and the later one. But I seem to recall that I liked what I saw in terms of the animation particularly. So that seems to be what I remember.
And the Seth Rogen one,
Amazing animation.
yeah, Mutant Mayhem, and they're doing another one.
Yeah.
My son's in the video game business, and he saw it and said, "God, this is fantastic."
Yeah.
And that also is one of the major things about this show. It inspires so many young folks, not only to be fans, but to become professionals. There are people at this very con who, when they were 8 years old, their parents got a call and said, "Hey, Mrs. Johnson, your little girl is drawing Ninja Turtles in second grade, and she's not tracing it." I mean, the scale, everything is perfect. You might want to encourage your art. And now they're here selling their version of Ninja Turtles. We sign stuff all the time that makes us go, "Oh my God, who did this?" Oh, he's right over there. It's amazing. And now they're also animators in Hollywood and in Canada because of Ninja Turtles. It's really cool.
Thanks for that.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Oh,
Hey, Hank.
Oh, Mr. The newspaper kid from Girl Can't Help It, and Mr. United States Canada, Mr. Hayes, you make a Peru yourself.
Thank you very much. It's nice to see you.
I couldn't resist.
I wish you'd be a little more outgoing, don't you?
So I remain incoming or something?
Thank you, buddy. What can we do for you?
Anyway, you know that both of you played separate incarnations of Donatello.
Correct.
Even though you were Raphael in the 80s one.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. I'm not too sure if I don't think I've seen Transdimensional Turtles yet, but then I'm wondering, how would the 87 Donatello and the 2012 Donatello what would they do? What would they do together? Like, what would they make? Who would they fight? And what would do a simple compare contrast?
Well, okay, you
Did
start.
you drop the neutron detonator again?
I'm supposed to fight advanced alien technology with a stupid stick!
Hey, it's got range. Everyone tells me it's got range.
Well, you know what? My acting skills don't. So, and by the way, how come you're so handsome and I've got a gap you could drive a Mack truck through?
Yeah, but how come you got April? I can't figure that one.
Okay, I win.
Now, in my day, you know, we didn't do interspecies relations.
Yeah, well, look, there's a fine line between funny and felony. You should know, because you're a lawyer, whatever the hell that means. Isn't that fun? Thank you for Thanks, man.
By the way, I play Shredder's Revenge a lot. Raphael's my favorite.
Thank you. You have
And I actually
excellent
play
taste.
Donatello too.
Hi.
Hello, I'm the biggest fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow, thank you. If you're the biggest fan, or you look remarkably normal sized, but thank you.
Yeah. So here's my question.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another. Okay,
Oh.
good. Thank you. Adrian.
Oh, okay. So,
There we go.
All right.
who,
Calm down. You got it.
who's your best voice, Donatello or Raphael?
Okay, which one do I prefer?
You're welcome.
Yes. As I was saying a little earlier, it's impossible to choose, and I'm not being coy. I am, with all due respect to Lou Gehrig, if any of you watch The Pride of the Yankees, I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
That's right.
Both of us, okay? So, to make a choice, it's something that has become inarguably iconic all over the world. We know this because we've gotten a chance to travel to Dubai, to the UK, Australia, all over the place. And you've not lived until you've heard 1,000 incredibly lovely young United Arab Emirates kids say with a slight Arabic accent, Turtle power! It is really overwhelming. And then they'll all come up and say, we learned to speak English by watching it, and their English is perfect. I can say, alechem salam and salam alechem and couscous, that's about it. Those folks know our language inside and out. It's quite remarkable.
I will say that I did watch some of the 2012, and I do think that the 2012 Donatello needs some anger management. Which the 87 Donatello is pretty level there, yeah. But but that's kind of the fun difference that I saw.
Yeah, so there's really no way to choose. Both were remarkable experiences. And just as a little side note, which is pretty, it's quite humbling. I keep using that word, but it works. This was a remarkable thing to watch on television. Years ago, I was watching a news program that was highlighting different refugee camps in the Middle East, in Syria, areas where in LA we're freaked out by the fires, and we should be, but there are millions who live like that every day.
Single day. Yeah.
We know that. And so these two little boys kicking around a half-inflated soccer ball, and they're wearing Ninja Turtle t-shirts. Now, they live in the dirt and the best shelter they can find. And that was apparently something that brought them joy. So at that level, it's not about ratings, it's not about money, it's not about anything but a remarkable connection to something that is safe and happy. So that's huge. Thanks, Mike.
Welcome.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hi. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm a huge fan of 1987 TMNT TV show when I was a kid.
Thank you. What can we do for you today, sir?
I heard your voice is Foul Mouth from Tiny Toon Adventures.
Yep. That's me. Lights up, Dimmin'.
And the voice of Jimmy Neutron's best friend Carl Weezer.
Yeah, that's me too.
And PJ from Goofy Movie.
Let me finish.
I'm gonna leave now.
I'm sorry.
You need to be alone. You know.
I have to do an admonition. Stay away from Jimmy's mom, because you're way too handsome. And what was that, PJ? Yeah, and there's another thing that blows my mind. How many people, the Goofy movie? I have no idea how many people love Goofy movie.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yes. Didn't even know you was PJ, bro.
And we have a couple of SWAT cats up here too. I don't know if any of you.
Oh yeah.
SWAT cat.
Yes, there was a SWAT cat. Razor.
I'm hard drive. And were you on Smurfs?
No,
Snorks. We did Snorks, which is Smurfs underwater. And you were, which one?
Junior.
It was
I was Junior Wetworm.
Junior Wetworm.
Yeah.
I was Corky. Corky the Snorky. What? And give him show business? Anyway, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Really sweet of you to say that stuff.
Thank you, Rob.
My pleasure. Take care of yourself. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Hi. I love your hair.
Thank you.
Very cool.
I have a question and I come bearing gifts. May I approach the bench?
Oh, of course you can approach the, well, you can say that to a lawyer.
Only approach the bench, yes.
Thank you.
Well, obviously.
Well, thank you very much. You're an origami expert. Thank you. You know what I should do? I will sign this, give it back to you. You can sell it on eBay for $5. But when I die, you can get 6. So where I come from, that's 2 gallons of gas.
I'm gonna keep mine. So.
Yeah, you gotta keep it. Anyway, thank you.
Because my signature, forget.
I have a whole sheet of paper, so if you want other colors too.
Bless your heart.
But as in Animaniacs, and Pinky and the Brain is included, what was your favorite song to sing?
Ooh.
Yep.
Gosh, I don't know. Well, it's actually a fair question because as Yakko, I got to sing all original music. Some of it was derivative. We did I Am the Very Model of the Park, that's Gilbert Sullivan. But I'm good at my job. We know what we're doing. We live in LA. You can throw it dark. And Barry also is a world-class singer. Oh, by the way, I got to do this. How many of you remember the song, I'm Getting Nothing for Christmas? Barry Gordon!
From the 50s.
Wow.
Well, 50.
That song they play as much as Happy Birthday.
No, John.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can throw a dart and hit a good singer in LA. You can't throw a dart and hit somebody who can write that stuff.
The late great.
Randy Rogel wrote Nations of the World, or Yakko's World, I'm Mad, I'm Cute. He wrote The States, The Presidents, all that stuff. He's got so many Emmys, he dresses them in Barbie clothes. That is the real genius. The writing on Animaniacs, everybody won Emmys for the writing. Tom Ruger, the creator of Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, Pinky the Brain, Freakazoid, that's the genius.
Hysteria?
When you have Steven run the show, who by the way was very hands-on and a lovely man,
Richard Simmons.
you have to work to screw it up. And we knew that we had something that was going to be really entertaining. We had no idea that it would become what it is, because you never know. You just never know. And my favorite song to sing, well, the first song I sung was Yakko's World. So from the beginning, the bar was incredibly high. And the backstory, which again reflects on Randy Rogel, is that Randy was already writing on Batman, and writing drama, for which he won an Emmy in his first year. Then Animaniacs was coming along, and his background is music and comedy. So he said, I can write for you guys. No, we're good. So it took him a couple of months before they finally gave him a chance and said, you go home and you write a song on spec, which means an audition. You know what the show's about. You write a song in the context of Animaniacs, bring it back, and we'll see. That was his audition. Yakko's World was what he wrote in a weekend. And everything else just continued at that level. It doesn't happen very often like that. Plus, we had a full orchestra, just like Looney Tunes. We even used the same piano that Carl Stalling used for Bugs and Daffy and Kill the Wabbit, Kill the Wabbit, all that stuff. Incredible. So thank you very much. Yeah, Yakko's World is probably my favorite because it's everybody else's favorite.
Yeah. Although I did do one musical cartoon.
Which one?
It's called The Gallivants.
Oh, I remember that. It was Ants, right?
And yeah. And I did it was The Gallivants, and I played a snake.
Nice. Typecasting.
And the person who wrote the songs for that was Howard Shore,
Oh my goodness.
who then went on to score a couple of movies like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of amazing working with him as well. So you never, I mean, the talent that's out there is just, well.
It is. And when you get a chance to meet all these remarkably gifted artists, Barry and I literally cannot draw a stick figure. I'm just inept.
I can't either.
But when you see that, and many of them come up to visit us, bringing us artwork, and they're 13 or they're 20, and they're so remarkable. It is such a labor of love at that level, and when you have everybody working toward the same goal and it ends up on the screen, this is what you get. So, thank you. Hi.
So I never really interacted with the 1987 show. I grew up with 2003 and 2012.
Yeah.
So I know you as Donnie instead of Brad.
Right.
But I knew them through the video games and the crossovers with each other. Do you have any favorite crossovers? It doesn't have to be between each of the turtles. 'Cause I know there's a lot. Naruto, you're doing that now.
The gentleman's question is about any favorite crossovers. I like there was a 2003 movie, right? Is that our buddy Nolan North played Raphael?
Yeah.
And he's excellent. My kid is in the video game business. His YouTube channel is Good Vibes Gaming. Check that out.
Yes.
But he was at something called PAX East, big video game convention. They have one in the East and one in the West. And a couple of years ago when they released Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
And he said folks flipped out because it was us. And that also was, tell them the one about the Honda commercial. Oh, yeah, there was a crossover.
Mr. Opportunity.
Right. That was one of the first times maybe the first time that we got back together. And it was for a Christmas spot that Honda did. I'm trying to remember, was it a local spot or a national spot? Was it a national spot? And it was the theme was kind of remember when you got these things for Christmas, and the things were the turtle action figures. And so they brought us back to do it and to voice it, and that was the first time that we were in the studio together after a long time.
It was such a blast.
And it was.
When you saw the folks on the other side of the glass from the ad agencies who were,
Oh my Lord, yeah.
25, 35, and they're getting tearful. It was spectacular. So that's our favorite crossover.
That's
Well,
right.
thank you, bud.
That's very true.
Hi.
All right, guys.
I just have to ask, we want to do this.
Yes, that was the thing I was going to say. We're probably going to have to kind of cut it off there because unfortunately we're out of time and we still have one more thing we want to do with them while we're here.
Yeah, and you never.
Yeah, I was hoping to get to the guy that's still dressed in his New Year's clothes.
Yeah. I love that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately I have to play the bad guy due to time.
Well, you're really good at it. You should be an actor.
Well, we want to bring over a gentleman who is an amazing man.
Yeah, he's a dear friend.
Dear friend, he started writing us fan letters.
Yeah.
when we were doing Turtles, and then
nice
we
Century
got to
shirt.
know him and meet him, and he just got his master's degree in mathematics.
Wow.
And is
Georgia Tech.
working for his doctorate. And he has something that he wants to give away.
You go ahead. I
So,
did the last one.
this is Ryan Jean.
Hey, Ryan.
So we've got a vintage, I guess,
Oh.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Entertainment system. Video.
And unfortunately, Townie and Cam aren't here, but Rob and I still
Oh.
have it.
I had this
And who do
game.
you want to give it to? It's your choice.
I had this game.
Dressed
Right
in a
there.
Raphael outfit.
Right there. Right there. He didn't get his question, but man, I had that game. Oh my God.
How great. Nice choice, kid.
Yeah.
Hello. How you doing?
Oh man.
That's for you. Okay. No, you don't want to talk.
All right. Turtle power.
Yeah, cool. And actually, we should maybe all say it together.
Yeah.
So let's do a 3 count.
Right.
1,
2,
2, 3.
Turtle power!
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, folks, if you want to come up front and get a nice little group photo